How are you preparing for retirement? Is retirement something that you are even concerned about? I know retirement is that finish line for so many working people. They can't wait till they get to a certain age and be able to stop working and retire comfortably. How are you preparing for that? And again, if you aren't concerned about retirement, let me know in the comments. In this episode, we're going to talk about retirement, and we're going to go over 7 steps to prepare for your up and coming retirement. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Ty, and I appreciate you coming to check me out on the podcast, wherever you're catching this at, be that Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. I'm all over the board, and I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to stop by and check me out. I do believe that the more we talk about money and have these money talks, the more we can learn and maybe even spark ideas in one another and motivate one another, so we can make sure we are sound when it comes to being financially well off and gaining wealth. That's what it's all about. And again, I do believe just us bouncing ideas off each other is something that's needed in the culture, needed in the community. It's just needed. I'm not a financial advisor. No, I'm not that. I'm just a guy that, likes to talk money. So if you need financial advice, make sure you seek out a financial advisor. I just like to come up here and, again, talk money, motivate people, and be motivated by people. I do read the comments. I do take in what people are saying they're doing, because I too am learning how to go and get my piece of the pie too. And that's what I want all of us to do. Get out there and go get a piece of the pie. So today, the topic is retirement. And before we get into it, if you guys are interested in success tips and motivational tips, make sure you guys sign up for my newsletter. I'm going to be coming out with a newsletter, and you can sign up in the comments and in the description. And also check out my website. I also have products up there and services that I use myself, things I use, like the equipment I use and just the services I use. Make sure you guys check that out. That is a way that you can show love to the channel. And again, I use these services and products to, give you guys content. So make sure you guys check that out and sign up for the newsletter. And I also like to get feedback on what you would like to see in the newsletter too. So make sure you sign up for the newsletter. I think it's going to be pretty dope. Now let's get into it. So we're talking about retirement. So retirement is that golden age. A lot of people can't wait to get to retirement, but it's not something that just happens. It's something that you prepare for, and you have to be ready for your retirement. So you have to be doing certain things and putting away money and things like that for retirement. So in backstory, one of the reasons I really wanted to do this video is because so many people have different goals for retirement. Me, for example, I'm in my 30s. I guess if you want to talk about retirement, the age that the average person retires is like 65 or in their 60s. So I'm halfway there with my working career. So I still have time to, I'm investing, of course, in preparing for my retirement, but I'm going to be well off because I started way early. So my goals are different from someone that is just about to hit that retirement age. And I was talking to this guy. Again, I'm in my 30s. I'm talking to this guy. He's in his 60s or something like that. So I was talking to him about retirement. He was telling me that he doesn't have many more years at the job, and I'm like, okay, cool, all right. And I just started to pick his brain, because I like to do that. I started to pick his brain. I said, okay, so how your retirement looking? What you were investing into? And he started talking about some of the riskier plays like marijuana stocks and things like that. I'm like, you investing into any dividend stocks? And he was like, nah, I'm more into the bonds and these other riskier plays. I'm like, Okay, that's different. You know, my different than my plan. My plan is, so his plan and my plan, it might be a little different. So he might not have been into the stock market a long time, and stacked up them dividends. Cause me personally, this is not financial advice. It's just me. I'm thinking when I get that age, I'm gonna have enough dividend stocks to, actually get a decent amount of dividend income in my retirement. He was saying he don't even have that, and he was trying to get some of the riskier plays, but he has a decent amount in his retirement. His just way of going about it was different. So everybody has different ways that they choose to invest in their retirement and work with money. So it's just, after that, I was like, man, maybe we do need to talk about retirement. And this is going to be a part 1, because again, my view is different from someone that's a little older. I'm going to get someone seasoned, I already got somebody in mind for part 2. But like I said, I just want to just show you guys the different level of what people want during their retirement. So let me know what you want in your retirement. Like, what are your goals right now? Because again, it all depends on what stage you're at. And me personally, when it comes to retirement, again, I want to have dividend stocks to have a good amount of my retirement, so I can be getting that kickback. And I'm also dumping a lot into my 401k. And anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So to go over this topic, I chose an article by Merrill Edge, and Merrill Edge is a Bank of America partner, and they offer a brokerage service with Bank of America. And I just stumbled across, I Googled how to prepare for retirement, and they came across one of the first articles. So we're going to talk about it. And the article is titled 7 Steps to Prepare for Your Upcoming Retirement. All right, so these are some tips that Merrill Edge gives, and I kind of agree with a lot of the tips. So we're going to go over it. Number 1, make sure you're diversified and investing for growth. All right, and quote from them. And again, this website is going to be in the description of the video. So in case you want to go and look up the website yourself, you can see it. It's going to be titled under sources. And like I said, they say make sure you are diversified and investing for growth. Examining your income sources well in advance of retirement gives you time to adjust your plan if necessary. All right, and it says it can be tempting to shy away from stocks and reduce risk, but the growth that stocks may provide is still important at this stage of your life. So this stage of your life, let's go back for a minute. This says, okay, this article is based off if you were about to retire in your next 10 years or so. 10 years or so. Cause I'm like, this stage of your life. So they say make sure you diversify. So I agree with that. You can diversify your portfolio and invest in things like stocks, invest in things like bonds, and it's a slew of things you can mix up and invest in. Mixes of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and other assets that fit your risk tolerance, investment time horizon, and liquidity needs. So again, it's all about your risk tolerance. Me, I got time, so I can put my money in some slow growing dividend stocks because I got 30 years, right? And I can let my money just stack up and build up because time. When you're talking about dividend stocks and retirement, time is best. So if you are young and you're listening to this, the best thing you can do is invest in some of those stocks that are going to grow, like dividend stocks or investments that are going to grow over time and actually be banging investments. And that's what dividends are for real. Like dividend investments, they grow, they snowball over time. So that's why I'm an advocate on dividend investing, because as long as the earlier you start with dividend investing, the better. So that's why I have, for example, my boys, I put a lot of their investments in dividend companies and dividend stocks, because over time those stocks grow by themselves. You don't have to do anything, as long as those companies are sound companies, blue chip companies that are guaranteed to pay a dividend. You're going to get this snowball effect over time. And that's one thing that, investors that are a little up in age, they don't have time to wait for those dividends to snowball. And so they might even make out better, if they can find that nice growth stock that grows a decent percentage as opposed to waiting for the slow growing dividend stocks. But if you got time, those dividend stocks, man, they can do wonders for you. And especially if you got sound companies that like the dividend aristocrats, that gonna keep paying their dividends regardless of what the market is doing. Like right now, the markets are crazy. They up and down. But if you got blue chip dividend stocks, and you got dividend stocks that gonna make sure they pay out, you good. But I didn't went on a rant about dividend stocks, dang. But you guys know how I feel about dividend stocks. I've been an advocate about dividend stocks for a minute. And if you want to talk about my retirement portfolios, they are highly invested in dividend stocks. I have some growth stocks for real, but I mainly do growth stocks and stocks for my exponential growth in non-retirement accounts, like my Robinhoods and my just regular brokerage accounts, not retirement brokerage accounts. Because if something does pop off, I can take my money if I need that money, and I can put it in other places, other investments, and keep it moving. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. But that was a good tip. So number one, like I said, make sure you're diversified and investing for growth. Number two, take full advantage of retirement accounts, especially catch-up contributions. Whenever possible, increase your retirement contributions to the maximum allowed in your 401k, IRAs, or other retirement plans. Aim to put enough in your 401k to qualify for any maximum matching contributions from your employers. So yeah, I agree with that all day long, because if your employer is matching with a 401k, they match you should try to get that maximum match, because that's the best place for your money. I could put my money in a savings account, or I could put my money in my stock, just a IRA, or just take it out there, but I'm not getting a match. That 401k is special, especially if your employer is going to match you. So that 401k is special because of that. You can potentially double your money, because your employer is matching it. So you want to make sure you maximize that. So I definitely agree with that 100%. And it got another note. If you're 50 or older at any time during a calendar year, your rules for catch-up contributions let you set aside more than the usual. So once you get older, you can put in a little bit more, because they want you to make sure you catch up and be right on time with your retirement. But it is crucial to take advantage of those 401k accounts, because again, that's an account that someone is matching your money. It's not just you putting your money aside for retirement. It's you putting your money aside for retirement and someone else putting money to it too, which is pretty good. So you want to make sure you maximize those type of accounts. Man, sidebar. I work with this guy too, and he's a young guy. He's much younger than me. I probably got about 10 years on him. But he's young. He got in a good position, and he's basically on the same position. Got the same position I have, right? So we make the same amount of money, but he got 10 years. He's 10 years younger than me. I feel like maybe 8. Anyway, it feel like 10. So he's young, and he's making the same money I make. And he said something like he's been putting 15% into his 401k since the day he started. I was like, gosh almighty. He's been putting 15% in his 401k since the day he started work. Of course, I'm pretty sure that, our backgrounds are different, and, maybe he probably had a better, I guess he had to, cause shoot, I needed all my money. That was 15% of your pay since day one. But those are the type of things that'll keep you ahead of the game. It's a really smart move. And if you've been putting that type of money away since the day you were hired, man, you're gonna be sitting lovely in your retirement. It's actions like that, it's things like that that'll really make the difference. For anyone that's young listening to this, it's things like that that'll really make the difference. So since day one, you've been putting a nice chunk away from your pay, so you never even really missed it. You could have been working years on years, but you never missed that 15%. Me, for example, I didn't start off putting anything in a 401k. Then once I did start working, I learned about the 401k. I put something like 4%. Then I put something like 6%. Then I'm upping it. I'm trying to put 8%. But I ain't putting no 15% off the bat because I wasn't used to it. But if you take that money away from you as soon as you start, you don't miss anything. And you can guarantee your retirement is going to be nice. Number 3, downsize your debt. So of course, if you are going to retire, you don't want to have any type of outstanding debts because you're going to be on a fixed income. So you want to make sure that you ain't out here accumulating debt before you retire. So that's the mission. In the perfect world, by the time you retire, your car payment's going to be paid off. Your house payment's going to be paid off. In the perfect world. So when you actually receiving your retirement payment, it's just you. It goes to you. That's the perfect world. Kids are out of college, so you don't got to use that. I know a guy at work, again, I'm telling real life stories. I know a guy at work, he always was saying, yeah, I gotta work this overtime. I'm like, dang, man, you should be about to retire. What you out here working this overtime for? Oh man, I got girls in school, man. I got 2 daughters in school, man. So I gotta work this overtime. Dang, so it'll mess up his retirement. So he out here trying to, put kids through college during his retirement or when he getting close to retirement. So things like that, like I said, they factors. But the more you pay down your debt, you ain't gotta worry about stuff like that. And if you, speaking of that, again, not financial advice, but if you got children and you want them to go to college one day, it'd be wise to go ahead and set aside some funds so you don't have to set aside some type of fund that they can use for college, so you don't have to be pulling from your retirement money that you need so you can retire comfortably. You're gonna be working yourself to death to try to put your kids through school. You know what I mean? You about to retire. You shouldn't be working yourself to death. You should work yourself to death in your 20s and 30s, and then the rest you should be coasting. That's just how I feel about it. I feel like you shouldn't be at the last leg because your body get tired, you get old, you start, shout out, nothing wrong with older people, but but you see what I'm saying? I don't want to work as hard as I work in my 20s and 30s, in my 50s. No, what you mean? I worked hard in my 20s. I'm working hard in my 30s. super hard. I don't want to work as hard as I worked in my 20s and my 50s. Nah, because I got kids going to school. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that, but that sounds backwards. I ain't trying to do that. So that's why you set aside these funds, these college tuition funds and things like that, so that isn't you, working as hard as 20-year-olds in your 50s. Yeah, of course I'm gonna still work hard, but I ain't trying to work like I was 20, man. You ain't never gonna be 20 again, you feel me? All right, number 4, calculate your likely retirement income. So it's good to actually know how much you will be bringing in. All right, and I seen a breakdown in here, and I kind of liked it. And where is it? 4, calculate your likely retirement income. Estimate your projectable income from services such as Social Security and employer pensions. The rest of your retirement funds likely will need to come from wages, savings, and investment accounts, and any wages earned in retirement. To make your assets last throughout your lifetime, the old rule of thumb right here, the old rule of thumb was that you could afford to spend 4% of your portfolio annually in retirement. So if you have $1 million in retirement assets, you could expect to afford to spend roughly $40,000 of that amount per year when you retire. So 4%. I like that rule. I went through that because I wanted to get to that 4%. So you should be able to spend 4% of your portfolio. So again, off 1 million, that's $40,000. If you can't live off $40,000 a year, guess what? You need more than $1 million to retire. If that puts something in, retrospect for you. So just based off the old rule of thumb. So if you need something like 80,000, if that's what you currently live off of, something like 80,000, guess what? You need 2 million. You need 2 million to be comfortable doing retirement. Going off this old rule of thumb, but it is good to know what that amount that you will be getting is. A lot of retirement accounts let you see the projection. It's just good to keep up with those because they change, and you can set it based off what age you want to retire. It's good. Something good to see. Estimate your retirement expenses. Of course, you want to know, as I said before, you want to know if you're going to have a house payment. You want to know if you're going to have a car payment. You want to know medical expenses. I know some people that really, really are afraid of not being able to take care of their medical expenses when they retire, so they keep working too. I definitely know people like that say, hey, as soon as I find that perfect retirement plan for my health insurance, I'm gone. I've heard people say stuff like that. So that's something that you should know during your retirement, how much you're gonna have to spend. Oh, I just went into number 6. Consider future medical costs. So yeah, like I said, you gotta want to make sure you know those type of things. And number 7, the last tip that Merrill Edge got is plan where you will live. So you want to know where you're gonna live at if you're planning on moving to a retirement area. If you want to go ahead and sell your home, some people do. Some people know when they retire, they're gonna sell their house and go downsize. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing at all wrong with downsizing. A lot of people like to do that, and especially if you are retired, you don't have the kids. Some people love to downsize. But it's good to know where you want to be during retirement. Are you gonna live in the same house? Stuff like that. It's good to know. So I just went over this article by Merrill Edge, and like I said, I gave you guys my 2 cents on retirement a little bit. And me, basically, like I said, when it comes to my retirement, it's a little ways off. So I'm investing into dividend stocks every week. Every time I get paid, every other week I'm getting paid, I'm putting money into dividend stocks because they're going to give me the most secure way to earn income in my retirement. So I want to beef those up, and that's mainly what I'm invested into. And I'm not all over the board with it. Again, this isn't financial advice. I don't think you need 1,000 stocks. I don't think you need 25, 30 stocks. I just think if you got about 10 stocks, or to have a little bit of diversity, but you have a few stocks that are blue chip stocks, and you invest in those blue chip stocks and keep stacking up on those blue chip stocks, you'll be all right during retirement. This thing, look how much Warren Buffett makes off Coca-Cola, off dividends. And again, that's because he been investing for a long time in those companies, so he has sizable positions in those companies, so that dividend payout is nice. And he invests in any company that does drop that dividend. I feel like I watch him, he be dropping them. He ain't got time for them. Yep. So yeah, and again, that was Warren Buffett, and that's some of the stuff I see him doing. It's just smart to invest in those dividends if you got time. But whatever you do in your retirement, you just have to prepare and plan. If you on this video and you're at least thinking about retirement, you're in the right direction. Again, none of this is financial advice. It's just, I like to talk about this finance, talk about this money, and I like when y'all talk back. So make sure you guys drop a comments. Let me know what you doing in your retirement, and I'll see you on part 2. Peace.